So in this lecture, we are going to study the numericals related to areas and volumes module. And first, we are going to start with the numericals of area, and then we will move to planimeter, and later on the volumes. So let us start with the numerical of area. The following table gives values of offset in meters from a chain line to an irregular boundary. Distance at 0, 50, 100, 150, 200 till 400 is given, and the interval between them is 50, and the offset at every chain is given, like here it is 10.6, 15.4, 20.2, and so forth till the offset of 400. What we need to do is that we need to find the area using mid-ordinate rule, average ordinate rule, trapezoidal rule, and Simpson's one-third rule. Now this had been taken in the classroom, and we have already studied these formulas. The mid-ordinate rule says that the area is the mid-ordinate between these two. Okay, mid-ordinate between these two divided by the total number of ordinates. Now there are basically the number in which this is divided is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so there are 8 divisions in between, so this n is basically 8 till ONM into L. L is the total length is 400, right? So how to find the mid ordinate between these two? This O1M will lie in between here. Let me use a different pen. This O1M lies here, O2M, O3M, and so forth till ONM. Okay, so this O1M will lie between O0 and O1, O2M lies between O1 and O2, O3M lies between O2 and O3. Same way this ONM lies between O7 and O8. So we need to find all these ordinates, and only after that we can apply this mid-ordinate rule. So O1M, as I already told you, n is 8, L is 400, n is 8 because there are 8 numbers of divisions, right? And L is 400, the total length. O1M, O0 plus O1 by 2. It's simple, just you need to take average of these two values, that's it. So like that we need to find till O8M, right? ONM means O8M, and you get these values. You can just pause the video and calculate them yourself. After that, it's just mere substitution in this formula, and you get the area to be 7365 meters square. So this was with the mid-ordinate rule. The second one is average ordinate rule. Average ordinate rule is basically you take all the ordinates, you just sum them up, and you divide it by the number of ordinates. Basically, what you are doing is that you are just taking average of these. These are called as ordinates, right? Ordinates. And how many ordinates are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Our n is 8 and ordinates are n plus 1, right? So if I have to take average of these ordinates, that will be the summation of these divided by n plus 1. So our average ordinate rule says the same thing. It is take the average of all the ordinates and multiply it by length, total length. So area is equal to all these ordinates divided by 8 plus 1 into 400. This is the area that you get by average ordinate rule. Next is trapezoidal rule. Trapezoidal rule, the derivation we had done in the classroom, and the area is given as first and last ordinate, the average of first and last ordinate plus all other ordinates here, multiplied by this interval between the two ordinates. Now the interval in our case is 50, right? Because 100, then 150, 200. This is how the progression is occurring. So the difference between these two is 50. That d is going to be multiplied here, and this is the general formula for trapezoidal rule. So O0 for us and ON for us, you can find that from the question. You just have to take first and the last ordinate average, and then plus all the other ordinates remaining till n minus 1. Okay, now that gives you the area of 7365 meters square. The last one is Simpson's 1/3 rule, that says that it is the difference of the interval divided by 3 into summation of first and last ordinate plus 4 into sum of all the odd ordinates excluding this first and last plus 2 into summation of all even ordinates excluding the first and last. So d by 3 into first plus last plus 4 into all the odd ordinates excluding these two plus 2 into all the even ordinates excluding these two. So it's mere substitution in this, and the area that you get is 738 Now if you compare the area, the most accurate area by theory is given by Simpson's rule. Okay, because it takes into consideration the curvature, if there is any curvature in between the ordinates, and if there is no curvature, like if there is a linear variation, then this trapezoidal rule is much better in finding area. Next question we'll be doing of a planimeter. Now planimeter, you have already in the last video lecture we learned about the planimeter, what it is, and it is an instrument which is used to measure the irregular areas, right? So let us try to solve few numericals pertaining to that. An area of figure was measured by a planimeter with anchor point outside the figure, and tracing arm is set to natural scale, that is m is equal to 100 square centimeters. Now you have to remember this, that when a planimeter is set to a natural scale, it means that m is 100 square centimeter. Do you remember the formula of planimeter? It is area is equal to m into n plus m into c, where this n is further this f minus I plus minus 10n plus this mc is, this is nothing but area of zero circle. Zero circle, right? So this is the area formula that you need to use with planimeter. So they have given m as 100 square centimeter. The initial reading was 8.628 and the final reading was 1.238. The zero mark of the disc passed the index mark once in the clockwise direction. Calculate area of figure. Again, so this is your area of planimeter. What is given is that they are given m, they have given the final reading as 1.238, they have given the initial reading as 8.628, and plus minus 10 into n. N is nothing but the number of times the zero mark of the dial passes the index. Now the zero mark of the disc passes the index once, so this n is going to be 1. But which sign to use, plus or minus, that will depend on whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Clockwise is positive, anti-clockwise is negative. So since they have told clockwise, so we are going to use plus sign. Okay, we'll be using the plus sign. And this MC, will MC come in this? area of zero circle only comes when anchor is inside. Okay, when anchor is inside. So this MC won't come at all, right? This term won't come at all. We only need this much. So we have everything, and I'm sorry, this C should not be there because I have taken it outside. In this formula, that C should not be there, right? So let me just erase everything, and okay. So just putting those values m as 100 and f minus I plus 10n, we get 261 square centimeter directly. So this is the area of that irregular figure, whatever that figure might be. Let us solve next question. The roller of a planimeter recorded a reading of 1.260 revolutions in clockwise direction while measuring an area of 21 centimeter by 6 centimeter with anchor points outside, okay, with some setting of tracing arm and the anchor point outside. Another figure was traversed and reading was recorded as 2.986 revolutions in clockwise direction. Find the area of figure if scale used is 1 centimeter is equal to 20 meters. So what they have given us is that they measured first a rectangle of 21 by 6, right? And they found that the planimeter had moved by 1.26. Now again, the area that is given by planimeter is m into n plus m into c. This is the area of zero circle, and it is only to be used when the anchor point is inside. Since here again the anchor point is outside, therefore this term won't come at all. Now what is this m into n? M is that magnification factor, and n is the number of revolutions. This n we use to expand as final minus initial plus minus 10n, right? Used to write this, but instead of giving us the final reading and the initial reading and the number of revolutions that zero passes the disk, they have directly given us the revolution, how much revolution the wheel takes, the wheel of the planimeter takes. So, and area is obviously, this is 21 by 6, so we don't need any instrument to find that area. It is pure mathematics, right? So 21, and I'll just delete this. Okay. So again, n is 1.26, area is 21 by 6. So when we put this here, 21 into 6 is equal to m into 1.26. We get m as 100 square centimeters. So this data was only given to find that value of m. Using this value of m, because we are not changing our planimeter, we are using the same planimeter. So using this value of m, we need to find the other area with same settings as they have mentioned here. What they are saying is that a figure was traversed and the reading was recorded as 2.986 revolutions in clockwise direction. So again, this area is 100 into 2.986, which is equal to 298.6 centimeter square. Now they have given a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 20 meters. So 1 centimeter square will be obviously equal to 20 square meter square, that is 400 meter square. So to convert this into meter square, just multiply it by 20 square meter square. So you will get 119,440 meter square. This is a very large unit to write, so we can rather convert it into further small unit, that is divide this by 10 raised to 4 and you will get it in hectares. Okay, hectares. So this was another numerical of planimeter. Let us solve one more numerical. A figure is traversed clockwise with anchor point inside and with tracing arm so set that one revolution of roller measures 10 square centimeter on paper. Initial reading is 3.009. final reading is 8.501. The zero mark of the disc has passed index mark once in reverse direction, reverse meaning anti-clockwise direction, because the correct direction for measurement is clockwise. So when they say reverse, it means anti-clockwise. The area of zero circle is found to be 164.31. So here they have given us the value of MC, square centimeters. What is the area of the figure? Now what are things they have given us is that first they just found that how much area the tracing arm measures. Okay, you need to understand that whatever area planimeter is measuring, that is nothing but the area swept by tracing arm. Okay, this is the area which is being swept by the tracing arm. We are adding the zero circle. After that, we are adding the area of zero circle if your planimeter has anchor point inside. But if you remember what we had done, if the area was very large, like if the area was very large like this, and the planimeter was somewhere here, we had placed the anchor point here somewhere, and let us say this to be the anchor arm, and this be the tracing arm, right? When this moves here this way, when it is moving like this, then the area that is traced by planimeter is this much area, right? And this area of zero circle is, then we are adding it separately, but what planimeter is giving us is that the area between the tracing arm. Okay, so here what they have given us is the area which is measured by planimeter, and if it is measured only by planimeter, it means that they are telling us the area which is given to us by the tracing arm, and hence this zero circle won't be added that time when we are equating this. Let me explain you while solving the numerical further. So this is the area which is measured by tracing arm only, and hence there is no need of adding area of zero circle. So this MC won't come. Area is equal to Mn plus MC, but this MC won't come even though your anchor point is inside, because what they have given us is the area which is measured by the tracing arm. So 10 is equal to M into N. N is 1 revolution, they have told us 1. So 10 is equal to M into 1. So M is equal to naturally 10 centimeters square. Now we will be adding the area of zero circle when we are finding the total area of irregular shape. And for that they have given us the final reading, the initial reading, and the number of times the zero has passed, and that is in the reverse direction, right? And the area of zero circle they have directly given us as 164.31. So final is 8.547, initial is 3.009, minus because it is in the reverse direction, and 10 into 1. So 1 is this number of times it has passed, and M is 10. When you equate this, you will get it as 119.69 centimeters square. This is the area which is found by area of that basically irregular shape. Okay, so this is for today's lecture on planimeter numericals. In the next lecture, we'll be learning about finding the volume of different shapes. Until then, take care.